Hello and welcome back to my channel where today I will again be talking about books. So today I want to talk about my spring reading list. I've got 6 books here that I would love to read within the next coming months. I've seen so many people doing fall TBRs, fall reading lists. I'm like, girl, love it, but it's the exact opposite of what we're about to head into down under. Anyways, so I'm going to start off with Small Boat by Vincent Delacroix. By the way, I've written down this, so if I keep looking down, it's because I'm reading up this. So this book, I actually believe it was shortlisted for the Booker Prize in 2024, and I've seen this on Melissa, and I believe her name is also Julie Yang, on YouTube. Both of them have talked about the book and read it and had some really interesting thoughts. So Small Boat is based on a true story, and it takes place between France and UK. So an inflatable dinghy carrying migrants from France to the UK capsizes, causing 27 deaths. French authorities, when alerted, wrongly told the migrants that they were in British waters and had to call British authorities in order to receive assistance. Now, the book is actually narrated by the lady who took the initial distress calls. So she was the one that would have alerted the migrants, I'm assuming, that they needed to call British authorities in order to receive help. So because it's told from the perspective of a very subjective character, I think it has been quite controversial, which is why I was super intrigued. Now, if I didn't mention already, there were 27 deaths, except for 2 when authorities did finally arrive to the site. And whilst the lady doesn't wholly take responsibility for what's happened, she does pose the question of why should she be more responsible than the sea, the war, and the crises that led these people here. I think it's quite interesting that this question is posed because, of course, this person doesn't believe that they are wholly at fault. Now, I'm sure that there would be people on both sides of the fence arguing for and against. And so I'm keen to read the books so that I can form my own opinion and then also read the reviews to see what the go is, because this is based off a true story. So these are actually people's lives that have been lost, people's lives that have been affected. So I'm like, oh, okay. Crazy. And I think it's only a small book as well. I think it's less than 200 pages or thereabouts. So definitely an easy read. Then the second book that I would love to read, and I do actually have a copy of this at home, is A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. Now, this is a complete turnaround because it's, I'm pretty sure, a lesbian vampire novel. I think it's lesbian vampires. If it's not lesbian vampires, then might have picked the wrong book. I just want to read this before October ends. I honestly have not been reading anything in line with October Halloween vibes. I've seen so many people doing it and I love the idea of it, but like I'm just such a mood reader that I could honestly, like, even just having this TBR, I will need to spread this out over the course of like 3 months just so that I can still feel like I have choice. You know what I mean? Anyways, then the third book that I would love to read is Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. Now, this has actually been on my TBR for a while, and I know that Beck has read it, and I'm pretty sure that she recommended it to me. Can't remember exactly what her thoughts were. I think that she did enjoy it. But yeah, from what I gather, it's set in the 1950s. A young man finds himself between desire and conventional morality. Now, I feel like that is such an interesting topic. Desire is such it's such a strong, encompassing feeling, and it can be for good or bad. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, how good is your self-control? How good is your grip on yourself? Do you know what I mean? And if there are other things involved, other variables, does that then affect your willpower? Does that then affect your willingness to divulge in desire? Anyways, also like conventional morality. Are we talking about like cheating, not cheating, going against the grain? Like, we all would understand conventional morality, but in the sense that it's being put in the same sentence as desire, like, okay, very interesting. And when I was reading the blurb on Fable, it said one line that did really strike me was a deeply moving story of death and passion that reveals the unspoken complexities of the human heart. Okay, so death is involved. Like passion and desire go hand in hand. Now the death is involved too, and unconventional morality. Oh no, was it conventional? Sorry, conventional morality. Like, okay, such an interesting mix. And I feel like this is right up my alley. I love to talk, like, even with my friends, about where they stand when it comes to death, desire, what drives us to be who we are. What would you do, you know, in theoreticals? Like, what would you do if you were put in a challenging position? Morally, we know what we should do, but what if there was another feeling that wanted to override that? Anyways. Then the fourth book that I want to read is The Memory Police by Yoko Ogawa. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. My apologies if I'm not. I think I first saw this on TikTok, and then I saw it down in a bookshop in Melbourne. And I remember Beck and I were talking about it. I don't know if she's read it. I'd be interested to know. But it seems like such a riveting book. The one thing that really stood out to me is that the memory police, characters in the book, are committed to ensuring that what has disappeared remains forgotten. Like, what are we trying to hide? What do we not want to be common knowledge? Like, what sketchy shit? Is it sketchy shit, or is it just like, this is such a twisted dystopian world that things we would deem nowadays or in our world to be normal are forbidden? I don't know. So I'm very interested to read that. I also saw on TikTok the other day someone had posted a video saying, what was the one book that changed your life, the one book that you constantly think about? And so many people wrote The Memory Police. I was like, okay, so I definitely need to read that. The next one is The Unbearable Lightness of Being by Milan Kundera. Now I think that I must have also gotten this recommendation off TikTok. If you haven't gathered, so many of my recommendations come from either TikTok or Beck. Those are my two reliable sources. So, like, the litfic girlies on TikTok, honestly, don't really let me down. So yeah. Anyways. And what I read on Fable's blurb is that this book encompasses passion, politics, and infidelity, illuminating all aspects of the human experience. Again, like we were talking about with Giovanni's Room, I love to have these conversations, theoreticals, and for me, I love to read these kinds of books because, again, it's like just having a conversation with another friend in such great detail. On the nature of men, women, and love, to which about every reader will respond. Every reader will respond like, okay, so there's something of substance in here, I'm hoping. Anyway, so I'm super excited to read that book. I haven't really heard many people talking about it, or maybe I'm just not on the right side of TikTok. But anyways, and then the last book that I would love to read is Puberty Blues by Kathy Lett and Gabrielle Carey. Now, I'm going to be real with you guys. I love Puberty Blues, the show. I recently watched, I think it was season 1, or maybe it was season 2. No, I think it was season 2 on Prime. They've got season 2, but not season 1, which is really odd. Anyways, I watched Puberty Blues probably when I was about 18 or 19. So quite a few years ago, and still have very fond memories. I love that TV show. And one thing about me is I'm not a TV show watcher. I'm not a movie watcher. So when something that is one of those two grabs my attention, I know that it's good. Now, knowing that the TV show is based off a book, I'm like, okay, I need to understand why it's based off of a book. It has to be that good. You know, it has to be that good. I would think that most of the time, TV shows and movies that are inspired by books, they have to hit some kind of standard, right? I guess it's just up to the execution then, whether the TV show / movie is good, but that's besides the point, because I want to know if the book is good. And I think it's only really small. I think it's like 170 pages. And I think it was originally either set or published in England. I could be wrong. So that could be a bit interesting, because I'm going to have to imagine it like as if it's set in England. But if it's not, I'm just going to imagine it the way that it's in my brain in Australia. Anyways, so yeah, I'm so excited because I love Debbie. What's the other girl's name? Debbie and Sue. Debbie and Sue. Anyways, so that is all the books that I have on my spring radar. Let me know what books you have got for the southern hemisphere, whether you are happening to enter spring. Maybe you're in the northern hemisphere and you're going into fall. In that case, tell me what books you're reading too, because I'll save them for like 5 months' time. You know what I mean? Like there's going to be a time and place. It's just not right now for me. But nevertheless, I'm always adding to my TBR. So anyways, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, also, I hope that you guys enjoyed this background. How cute is it? I came here yesterday to do some reading. New favorite spot unlocked.